Are you looking for real house sitting jobs? Then this video is for you. My name is Michael and I love testing different flexible ways to make money, and one option I come across is to become a house sitter. And yes, you can actually get some great benefits from that. And in this video I will show you the 5 best house sitting platforms and also explain exactly what you need to do, how much you can earn, and all the details so you can find out if this is the right opportunity for you or not. So before I go over the 5 options I want to show you, then let's talk about the basics you need to know to find out if house sitting is the right job for you or not. And the first thing to understand is why people even need a house sitter. And there can be several reasons for this. One thing can be a house sitter just for shorter periods when they're just working a lot or something like that. Sometimes it can also be when people are traveling and they just want someone to look after their house, or in many cases actually also because they have pets that they want to leave at home instead of at a kennel or something like that, and then they need someone to come and take care of both the house and the pet, and that is why people need a house sitter. So next, let's talk about what you need to do as a house sitter. And first of all, you of course need to actually stay at the house. That doesn't mean that you can never go out or anything like that. You can find house sitting jobs when you're traveling, and then of course you can still go out sightseeing and all that, but you just need to of course stay in the house so there's actually someone living there during the period that you have agreed with the owners of the house. Also, you need to take care of their pets if there are any. Very often there will be for house sitting jobs like that, and of course also take care of plants or basic housekeeping, meaning keeping the house clean, kind of treating it like you would treat your own house. It can also be to like empty the mailbox or other few things. Of course, the exact things you need to do can vary a little bit depending on what you agree with the owners, but these are the most common things, so it's not super difficult or anything like that, but you of course need to take care and do a proper job. So next, let's talk about what skills you might need as a house sitter. And first of all, you need to be responsible. You need to live up to any agreements you have made, and as mentioned earlier, also you need to treat it basically as your own place. You need to consider the needs of the owners because first of all, that's just the right thing to do. And secondly, also because they usually leave reviews on the different platforms you use, and if owners see that you're doing a great job, they will leave great reviews, which will make it easier for you to find house sitting jobs in the future. So you need to live up to agreements and be responsible like that, and you also need to be willing to take the time to create a proper profile on the platforms you decide to join, because people will look at it. And just think about yourself, if you have someone coming and staying in your house or your home, you want to make sure who the person is and all that. So take the time, create a profile. Don't be afraid to show your face, also show pictures and things like that, because people will look at that before they are hiring someone. So one more thing we need to talk about before going over the platforms is that there are 2 types in general of house sitting jobs. There are paid jobs and non-paid jobs. But the non-paid, in one sense, they are kind of paid anyways, because usually they give free accommodation, and then sometimes you can even find free accommodation while traveling in really great mansions or houses or apartments where you would usually pay a lot of money to stay, but then you can stay there for free. So in that sense, they are kind of paid anyways, but of course that depends on your needs and where you are looking for house sitting jobs. And then there can be paid house sitting jobs, and sometimes that will be where you get like a room or maybe a small house in a bigger place where you stay, and then you get paid while you are doing your house sitting duties. And of course many people are looking for those, but they are also harder to find, in my personal opinion and experience from doing a lot of research online. But when it comes to the paid jobs, let's also talk about some examples of how much you can earn before we then go over the 5 platforms that I want to show you. So there is this platform called salary.com that shows some different average salaries for different jobs, and you can see a house sitter salary in the US. You can see that the average, and this is of course annual pay, there would be around $32,000. So quite a nice pay for being a house sitter. Of course, it's important to be aware that this is not for all jobs. This is for the US. This is not guaranteed that you will get that, and in most cases it will be these unpaid jobs. They are the easiest to find. These ones where you can earn this much here, they will be very hard to find, and it is kind of more like applying for an actual job then. But let's go over these 5 platforms where you can easily get started as a house sitter. It's not as such a prioritized list because which of the options that are the best really depends on your personal preferences. So the first platform I want to talk about is called Trusted House Sitters, and this is one of the more popular house sitting platforms. And you can find a house to sit there in basically anywhere in the world. They have some really great accommodation in bigger cities where you might pay like hundreds of dollars per night. Yes, they do have a yearly membership here to get access to actually applying, but it's around like $120 or so. So in most cases for a year membership here, it's less than you would pay for a nice night in a hotel in many of these places. And I've looked around here and you can find some really great places in cities that are usually very expensive, some really nice homes. But just be aware, in many cases you also need to take care of a pet because people are leaving their pet at home. So that is in general how it is here. But if you are traveling and would like to have great places to stay without having huge cost for accommodation, then Trusted House Sitters is definitely a good option. I also do have a full review of that here on my channel. I will leave a link to that in the top corner here. Next we have housecareers.com, and as you can see here, you can search by location. It is also in many different countries. Of course, exactly how many options you can find, that will depend on the country you live in, or the country not necessarily you live in, but where you're looking for house sitting jobs in. And you can search here and you can see most of the information for free, but if you want to be able to apply, then you need to pay a yearly fee of around $50 or so. And that's how it is with many of these platforms, because that's kind of how they make the money and can provide these services to us because they charge a fee. The next platform is called Nomador, and this is also an international site, so you can find house sitting jobs in many different countries. You can go to the website there, and then again you can sign up for free, but you do need a paid account to be able to apply for these jobs. So on this platform, I believe it's around $100 per year. So of course you can't join all these platforms, or you could potentially, because that will of course increase your chances of finding house sitting jobs. But of course you need to think about also, because most of them do have these extra fees. But as mentioned earlier, also often the fees are way less than you would spend on one night in a hotel anyways. But you can go there and you can become a house sitter, sign up for free. And as you can see, it's aimed usually at people that are going traveling, and then you can take care of the house, in some cases also the pets, while they are traveling. And since it's international, that also means that you can travel very cheap, because you can get to stay basically for free wherever you go. And they have these great ways of exploring. You can see, like, do you want to go to the countryside? Maybe you want to go to the beach. This can also be an interesting way to kind of just try to plan where you want to go if you just like traveling and want to see places you maybe didn't think of. You see, you can just search for the beach, and then you can find like different options. You can choose the date, things like this, and then have a look and see what options are there. So we now only have a couple of more options to go, and it would be great if you could just take 1 second to like this video, because it can help it to be seen by more people, and I would definitely appreciate that support. Next we have Housesitter.com, another place where you can go and find different house sitting jobs. As you can see here, that can also be a way where you need to keep an eye on plants and things like that. That's how they kind of advertise the platform. And here you can also go, when you go and see the opportunities here, often they are actually paid. You can see what people pay, for example, $40 per hour, $65 per hour. There are kind of different options here, what people get paid for this. So, there are some quite good hourly rates here for jobs in this one here. You can also check the top cities. As you can see, this is then also mainly for the US and Canada. So this is a little bit different than some of the other options in this video here. Also be aware that this also does have a fee. You can join like monthly, and it's around $26 for a month, or you can pay yearly, and that's only like $90. So if it's something you regularly want to do, then it can definitely be worth considering that. But as you can see here, you actually get quite good salary, so that can quickly cover the fee if you decide to do this. So the next option is called Pawshake, and you can see the countries it's available in here. So if we just try one of them here, you can see this is aimed towards pet sitting, but they also do offer a house sitting where you, for example, come and take care of their pet in their home if the pet prefers to stay at home. And you can see what some of the sitters are charging here. You know, some people charge like 22 pounds per night, 20, 30, things like this. But of course it's depend on the exact job you want to do, and also depending on the country. As I showed you at first, there are platforms in many different countries. But this can also be a great way to potentially earn a little bit extra if you actually like animals, of course. As you can see, there are some great options if you want to become a house sitter. Exactly which platforms are the right for you really depends on your personal preferences and how you want to earn. Is the main goal just to get free accommodation while traveling the world, or is it to stay in your local area and find kind of a job? So all these options gave you ideas, so you have a good idea about how to get started. I also do have a video about different other flexible ways to earn money. I will leave a link to that below also. I also do have more information on my website about how you can potentially build your own online business, which in my personal opinion gives the ultimate freedom. That's what I have done myself. I do have some information about the exact steps I have taken to achieve that. If you're interested in that, you can also find more information about that below. But no matter what, I hope this video helped you, and if it did, make sure to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.